Welcome back to the Long Acres Finance channel. I've been watching videos on YouTube talking about the fastest way to retire with dividends, or the lowest amount you would need to invest to achieve this goal. The concept of replacing your active income with passive income through the form of dividends sounds very appealing. Dividends are probably the most passive source of income out there, but all forms of passive income require some level of effort. There is no such thing as you do nothing and receive an endless stream of money. That's just fantasy. Even with dividend income, you need to build a portfolio of stocks or funds that will generate a sufficiently high enough level of income to suit your needs. This requires some work from you and the necessary capital to build such a portfolio. Also, once you hit your goal, you will likely need to continue to maintain this portfolio and review it from time to time to ensure it's working as expected. But this is a small burden to have in exchange for the benefit of retiring early. If you want to retire with dividends and you'd like to make this happen as fast as possible, what is the best route you should take? All of the most popular videos I watched on YouTube all point to a similar strategy: high-yield dividend stocks and funds. These products require significantly less capital to generate a high level of income compared to lower-yielding stocks. And this is a good route to take, but it isn't the only one, and it may not even be the fastest route. Ultimately, which route you decide to take is up to you. You need to be comfortable with your investing strategy, because it's you that will have to live through the market turbulence and be satisfied with the final results. What I'd like to offer is an alternative route to high-yield dividend stocks and funds that could help you retire even faster with dividend income. I'm not advising anyone to pursue this route, but it doesn't hurt to have more options to consider. And perhaps you will find that my option will suit you better than high-yield dividend stocks or funds. Retiring with dividend income is a simple math problem, so let's break it down as such. You start by figuring out the desired level of dividend income that you need or would like to have in retirement. This amount will vary for everyone, and it may change in the future based on your circumstances. Let's pick an easy number to work with, like $50,000 per year, which is a little more than $4,000 per month. You can think about your own number and follow along with my math. Okay, so we have our target goal, $50,000 per year in dividend income. The next step is to figure out how much capital is required to produce this level of dividend income. And to figure this out, we simply need to divide the desired dividend amount by the dividend yield of the stock or fund or portfolio of securities we would like to invest in. So for example, Johnson & Johnson currently pays a 2.47% dividend yield. We would need to invest a little over $2 million into the stock to generate $50,000 of dividend income at the current dividend rate. Realty Income, my favorite real estate investment trust, has a dividend yield of 4.38% right now. With Realty Income, we would need to invest about $1.14 million, almost half as much as J&J required. Ares Capital, which is a BDC, currently yields 7.53%. About $664,000 invested into this BDC would generate the $50,000 in dividends we would like to have. And finally, we have QYLD, the covered call ETF, that sports a very attractive 11.58% dividend yield. QYLD would require about $432,000 investment to meet our goal. That's 4 times less than Johnson & Johnson, less than half of Realty Income, and about $230,000 less than Ares Capital. Obviously, QYLD looks like a no-brainer decision, based on the amount of money you would need to invest to generate the same level of dividend income compared to lower-yielding investments. And here at this point is where most YouTube videos end their analysis of the problem. But for me, the problem isn't fully solved yet, at least not for everyone. Yes, we have determined that higher dividend yields require less capital to generate enough dividends to retire on. But this only works if you already have the required capital. So if you have $432,000, you can buy shares of QYLD and enjoy the $50,000 of annual dividend income. I tend to believe that most average investors who are looking to retire with dividends don't have this amount saved up right now. And maybe you're just starting out, so you have $0 invested. If that's you, the math problem for you isn't over, and another crucial step is required. The problem now is, what is the fastest way you can save or create the necessary level of capital to hit this goal? Let's take a look at the 4 investment products I just presented and see exactly how much it would have taken in monthly contributions to hit the necessary level of capital to generate $50,000 of dividend income. This would be a portfolio of about $432,000 with QYLD, about $664,000 with Ares Capital, $1.14 million with Realty Income, and $2 million with Johnson & Johnson. Since QYLD has the shortest history of these 4 investments, I'll trim this analysis to start in January of 2014. If our goal is to reach our target by January of 2022, this would give us an 8-year window, which is a little aggressive. Starting with $100 and investing monthly into QYLD, you would need to contribute $2,960 each month, reinvesting all dividends along the way to hit a market value of $432,000. That would produce $50,000 of dividend income based on QYLD's current dividend yield. Quite a high ask to invest almost $3,000 each month. But like I said, an 8-year timeline is rather aggressive, especially if you are starting from zero. With Ares Capital, starting with $100, you would need to contribute $3,235 each month, also reinvesting all dividends to hit a market value of about $664,000, so about $300 more per month compared to QYLD. Investing in realty income, starting with $100, you would need to contribute $7,285 each month to build a $1.14 million portfolio. That's more than double the contribution that QYLD required. And finally, we have Johnson & Johnson that would require $2 million of capital to generate our desired dividend income. Starting with $100, you would need to contribute $12,500 each month to hit this target. Wow, that's more than quadruple the contribution for QYLD. So again, QYLD looks like a clear winner of these four investment products. It would require the smallest monthly contribution to produce the desired level of dividend income. But here's something to pay attention to as well: the rates of return these investment products offer. QYLD in our example had a money-weighted rate of return of 8.53% during this 8-year window. This is how fast your capital grew during this period of time, not factoring taxes. Ares Capital rate of return was 17.06%. Realty Income's rate of return was 10.34%. And Johnson & Johnson's rate of return was 10.89%. Based on rate of return, QYLD was actually the poorest investment option in terms of growing your capital. And here's my kicker for the fastest way to retire with dividends. You can use QYLD and its very generous dividend yield to fund your retirement, but you might be better off using a faster growing investment to build up the necessary capital. We know that right now it took $432,000 invested in QYLD to hit our goal. But based on the rate of return, all three other investment products would have taken us from $100 to $432,000 faster than QYLD. Why not invest in a faster growing stock or fund and simply buy QYLD when you have enough capital? I know I'm not factoring in taxes here, and you would likely have a sizable tax burden from the sale of the faster growing asset in order to purchase QYLD. So you would just need to account for this tax obligation and generate enough capital to offset the difference. Speaking of taxes, the higher dividend income from QYLD and the unfavorable tax status of its dividend stream would create a drag on your portfolio, one that would be significantly smaller with the three other products. Let's see how much capital Ares Capital, Realty Income, and Johnson & Johnson would produce with the contributions we put into QYLD, to $2,960 each month. With Ares Capital, you would have about $608,000. With Realty Income, you would have about $464,000. And with Johnson & Johnson, you would have about $474,000. So each of these investments would get you to the required level of capital to generate $50,000 with QYLD faster than QYLD, or leave you with a larger amount of capital after the full 8-year period, which would mean more dividend income with QYLD. Even if we adjust for capital gains taxes, short-term on the last year of contributions and long-term on the first 7, Ares Capital would still leave you with $552,000 of post-tax capital. Johnson & Johnson would leave you with $439,000, and Realty Income would come up with $430,000, just slightly ahead of QYLD. So even factoring in taxes, you would have been better off with these three investments than QYLD. Certainly more so if we compute the drag from the higher dividend income along the way and the unfavorable tax status for QYLD's dividends. My point is that if you want to retire with dividend income as fast as possible, the key is to create enough capital that will produce your desired annual dividend income. And the trick is to find the product that will grow your capital the fastest, with an acceptable level of risk you are willing to take. There are no guarantees in the stock market, and just because a certain stock or fund had exceptionally high returns in the past, does not guarantee those returns will continue in the future. Historically, growth stocks have outpaced QYLD by wide margins, and we can probably assume they will continue to do so in the future, especially when you consider investing over a longer period of time. Here are 3 more popular products you could have invested in during the last 8 years instead of QYLD to generate more capital. QQQ, the Invesco fund that tracks the Nasdaq 100 index, also the underlying fund QYLD uses for its covered call options. Investing $2,960 each month into QQQ for the same 8-year period as QYLD would leave you with about $765,000 of capital, or $686,000 adjusted for capital gains taxes if you were to liquidate the entire position. If you use this sum to invest in QYLD at the end of January 2022, the resulting position would generate around $29,000 more in annual dividends compared to investing in QYLD from the beginning. Investing in the S&P 500 through the SPY ETF would also yield better results, bringing your final capital to about $581,000, or $530,000 adjusted for taxes. And finally, if you invested in Apple stock, you would end up with about $1.4 million or about $1.2 million post-taxes. This extra capital would mean almost $89,000 in annual dividends with QYLD today. I think you get what I am trying to convey here, and it's a valid option in my opinion, that could help you retire faster with dividends, even if you don't use dividend-paying stocks to get there. I think QYLD is a fine product that serves a purpose in the market. If you're already retired, the fund can be a great source of steady income. But if you want to retire in 8 years, or even longer than that, I don't think investing in QYLD is the best route to take, at least not for everyone. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you need to be comfortable with your investing strategy. And if QYLD is your comfort zone, then that's the route you want to take, regardless if it makes the most sense mathematically. Because when the market crashes, and believe me, sooner or later it will, math isn't going to help you sleep at night. If you're still with me, I'd like to wish you the best of luck on your investing journey. Be patient, stay consistent, and you will reach success. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more similar content. See you next time.